And we are back. Avry Sports with Webcast, livestream.com/Avry Sports. I saw during the break we had even more discussion on the Raptors situation with my other co-host chiming in, Mr. Adam Bros, joining in about the Raptors talk. He's saying how the Raptors, they're a team with a lot of very good players. Nice to see a balanced team in the NBA. You know, that's the thing, the Raptors, they're not going to be a bottom team anymore, I don't think. They're a team that won't be a 13 or 14 win team. They're a team, they're struggling. Yeah, they're struggling right now. Yeah, they're a sub 500 team. But I think the days of the Raptors being a 16 and 66 ball club are hopefully over. I think those days are long behind them for the long term because that's what they need. They can't have any more of those days where they are potentially looking at breaking an all-time record in NBA for suckage. Those days can't happen anymore. They won't be taken seriously because there are some players that are good. The Calderon trade, take it or leave it. I'm not broken over it. I'm not ecstatic about it. But you know what? I say meh to the whole Calderon trade. Rudy Gay came back, so I mean, in this whole huge team trade, you know what? Got Rudy Gay back. You know what? Gotta give up something, which happened to get something back. So either way, all right, deal with Memphis and Detroit. Now, of course, I had posted also, too, for the Oilers-Kings game, some score predictions. Mr. Brills has 4-1 Edmonton. Mr. Ingles has 4-3 Edmonton in overtime. And I'm going to call 5-3 Edmonton over the Los Angeles Kings. And we got another T. Yeah, I think Edmonton gets it done 5-3 again. I think Toronto has... I think Edmonton has the ability to once again take down the LA Kings. They were able to get the Jonathan Quick last time, although late they got to him. And I hope the Eskimos... Why am I mixing up the Oilers? I hope the Oilers... It's an odd night for me in teams right now. The Oilers. If they can get 30 or more shots, once again, they'll be in a good position. We saw it against Dallas. Yes, the Stars beat them, but it got 36 shots on Kari Lehtinen. Lehtinen was playing unreal. They got 56 shots on Semyon Varlamov against Colorado. Setting a new team record. Unbelievable. If they could do 50 top plus again, I think they have a chance of winning. If they could reach 60 shots on Jonathan Quick, oh my gosh. 60 shots on Quick. That would be mind-boggling. Then they have a chance. And now for LA, some lineup notes. Dustin Penner, he'll be playing tonight. Mr. Pancake Man himself will not be sitting out this game. He'll be in the lineup for the LA Kings. And Nikolai Khabibulin. The last game Edmonton played and Edmonton won. Khabibulin relieved Devin Dubnyk, and I've been on Khabibulin for a long time. I gotta give Khabibulin props. He came in, relieved Dubnyk, and stood on his head when this game could have been easily 6-1 Colorado. Stood on his head. Got momentum back. They got some quick goals. Alex Hemsky with probably the goal of the year. Oh my gosh, so filthy. I'd take 3 showers after going out to a friend's birthday party after that game. Such a filthy goal by Alex Hemsky. Maybe the goal of the year. So now, if they can string some wins together and get themselves into the top 8 once again, that's entirely possible. Because remember, they're in 11th place in the Western Conference. But things are so jammed up and tight that one win, and they're back in 8th. They're tied with Dallas for 8th. So, I mean, the logjam in the Western Conference. Oh, how I miss seeing the Western Conference being a cluster you-know-what of teams in 7th place to 12th being only 3 points apart. I miss that. It's good to see once again. It's therapeutic to the hockey mind. As I sit very far back in the chair. Avry Sports with Webcast, livestream.com/Avry Sports. Hit me up on Twitter at Avry, AVRY. Come join the livestream.com chat room. It's always a blast. Free, fun, cheap, economical, other words, English, Spanish. You know how we do it up in here in Avry Sports Show Land in the Avry headquarters. Of course, now we're going to talk about, a man who was the most famous, he still is, the most famous athlete in South African sports history, and maybe the most famous Paralympian of all time, who is now facing premeditated murder charges. That's Oscar Pistorius. And now Pistorius, apparently, we know, shot and killed his girlfriend in his home, thinking that she was an intruder. Now, when I first heard the story, and considering where he lives, and where he lives in South Africa, it's not safe. Home break-ins happen often, so you figured that's believable. It is possible that happened. It's very unfortunate. But more details came out. We found out she was shot 4 times. Like, okay, that's odd. We find out that her skull was smashed. Okay. And there was a bloody cricket bat in his house. Yeah, this begins to turn into more. This morphs from accident into you probably killed her intentionally, premeditated murder. This, and you know what? We're not gonna. I'm saying all we think. We think because the judge and the jury has to determine this before they cast Pistorius as guilty or not guilty. Because hey, until then, he's innocent until proven guilty, as the law says. But Pistorius is not in a good spot. This is bad news for him. Terrible news. And even more shocking is that here was a Nike ad that was pulled, which said, "I am the gun, I am the bullet in the chamber." That was an actual Nike ad he was in, which has been pulled down. Oh boy, talk about awful timing for Nike, eh? I mean, just an odd case, a very odd situation, and now we're hearing that she was apparently shot in the bathroom, and Pistorius saw someone in the bathroom. He didn't have his prosthetic legs on. He basically shot in panic, is what he said, but I guess we'll determine that all from how high the gun was shot, the angle, to see if he was wearing his legs or not. But either way, this is just the absolute horrible situation for all parties involved, all families. It's not a good situation whatsoever. I mean, we're going to just wait and see what else happens. But talk about a fall from grace. From a national hero to accused murderer. Hey, anything is possible. Yeah, and that we just see it right there once again in this world. What a shocker. Anyway, moving on to a more happier topic. Mr. Michael Jordan, the GOAT, greatest of all time this past weekend, turned 50 years old, as did Sir Charles Barkley. And of course, many people, Twitter was all a buzz. Michael's turned 50, MJ's turning 50. Of course, everywhere on TV, the greatest highlights of Michael Jordan. The shot in 98 over Byron Russell, the flu game, the game 89 against the Cavaliers where he knocked them out in game 5, that jumper and the paint where he shot over Craig Elo. So many great Michael Jordan moments. So many moments of Michael Jordan have been going around, naturally. But now, once again, there's the rumors of a Michael Jordan comeback. Rumors from other people who want to see it happen. His trainer said that if Michael wants to do it again, he will do it. You type in on Twitter Michael Jordan, and the first thing that comes up is Michael Jordan comeback. Everybody's speculating. Comeback. Michael Jordan comeback. Return at 50. And you're seeing, and it's even more now so. And Michael Jordan is a guy where he's ultra competitive. If you know MJ, he's a guy who hates to lose a poker, hates to lose a ping pong. He got to be the guy where you didn't want to compete against him because he would break you down and make you feel like garbage just so he could beat you. And now, could he do it at 50? Could Michael Jordan return to National Basketball Association as the oldest player of all time? I don't know if it could happen. It would be, if it did happen, everybody would, and their dog would watch. Naturally, we would start with the Bobcats, since he's the majority owner of Charlotte. But you know what? This is a guy, he stays in relatively okay shape. He practices with the Bobcats every once in a while. But Michael Jordan is at 248 pounds. He's nowhere near playing weight. And not that long ago, he was at 261. Yeah, Michael Jordan was 260 pounds a few months ago. Michael Jordan was crushing them scales and smoking them Cuban cigars like they were tap water. Well, he still is doing that, but regardless. Could he be useful? What people are saying. Now, if he goes on plays on Charlotte, naturally they're not a playoff team, not at all. But it'd be great for ticket sales. Everybody would go. Instantly, the Bobcats would be the hottest team to watch in the NBA, just for the last 20 or so games of Michael Jordan playing one more time. Everybody, there you folks hanging from the rafters, dangling for dear life, hanging from banners just to watch Michael Jordan play one more time. It would happen. But is it possible? Is it feasible for him to do it? Will his legacy take another hit? I honestly think if Michael Jordan wants to come back, you know what? Michael Jordan's legacy cannot be damaged anymore. Michael could come back in 20 more years at age 70 and say, I want to play again. And we're going to cheer and go, woo! We're going to cheer. Admit it. He comes back one more time. People who say, stay away, Michael, y'all are going to be turning on the first game he's back with the Bobcats if he does decide to come out of retirement. It's inevitable. You'll want to watch. Will he be the dunk in your face, blocking Charles Michael Jordan? Absolutely not. Can he still dunk? Yes, he can. Yes, Michael Jordan is still able to dunk quite well. But will he be breaking ankles? Will he be absolutely just taking kids to school? Not the same way he was. Will the fadeaway still be there? Yeah. Will he be able to bust with a jumper and make people look silly? Not every game, no, but there'll be moments where he could make. Hear me out. There'll be times where he could make a LeBron James look silly. I'm not joking. That's why I hate. And now, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here because I have to. Is LeBron a great player? Yes, he's one of the greatest players in the world right now. Is he the next Michael Jordan? Absolutely not. No one is the next Michael Jordan. We can compare players to Michael Jordan, but no one will be Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan took the NBA to the air full time. Everybody else built off of what Michael created. Kobe's a byproduct of Jordan's play. So was LeBron to an extent, but LeBron is a bigger guy. LeBron is 6'8", 260. Michael was 6'6", 218. So there's no way you're going to call LeBron James like Michael Jordan, even though people try to. Michael was a finesse dunker. LeBron's a power dunker. So yeah, I have no problem comparing Kobe closer to Michael Jordan than anything else. Kobe's game is much more close to Michael Jordan's than LeBron's game is. And people say, oh, LeBron could be the greatest player of all time. Kobe could be the greatest player of all time. I still say that. The greatest players of all time. Will he be? Is he one of the greatest players of all time, Kobe? Yes, he is one of the greatest players. Will LeBron be one of the greatest of all time? Yes, he will be one of the greatest players of all time. Will either of them be the best? Absolutely not. Because if we want to break it down just by points and just by numbers, then technically Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest player of all time. Not Kobe, not LeBron. And if you want to go just by numbers and points, then not Michael Jordan. People call Michael Jordan the greatest of all time because of what he was able to do on and off the court. Michael Jordan transcended the game. No matter where you go, no matter where Michael Jordan goes, be it in Chicago, Charlotte, New York, be it in Edmonton, Alberta, be it in Africa, be it in Iceland, be it in Italy, be it in China, everybody knows Michael Jordan. Does the world know LeBron James? Yeah, people that know LeBron James. But you go to someone who may not know basketball and they may see LeBron who? You see Michael Jordan. Yeah! Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls. Or Michael Jordan, baseball. Or Michael Jordan, Nike. Or Michael Jordan, shaved head. Or Michael Jordan, Space Jam. Or Michael Jordan, Mars Blackman. Something really hits even the non-basketball fan as to who Michael Jordan is. And to why he's the greatest player of all time. Not to mention the 6 NBA titles. Not to mention the scoring titles. The Defensive Player of the Year. One of the greatest comebacks of all time. After breaking his foot in his second year. When players thought he may never be the same again. To draw 63 points in the Boston Garden. In the 86 playoffs against the Celtics. Against Larry Bird. That is why Michael Jordan will be the GOAT. Bar none. No one to surpass him. So, Don't like my rant? I'm sure there are going to be people saying, oh, what about Wilt Chamberlain? What about Bill Russell? Don't get me wrong. Is Wilt an all-time great? Absolutely. Absolutely Wilt Chamberlain. Top 5 player Wilt Chamberlain. Remember, the era in Wilt Chamberlain played, there wasn't a obscene amount of endorsements. There wasn't 24-hour TV to truly absorb Wilt Chamberlain. Heck, there's not even any TV. There's no footage of Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. There's only audio archives. It wasn't televised in 1962. There's no television footage. You can easily find the audio online. It's easy to find the audio from the 100-point game. But there's no footage. If you were there, then you saw it. If you weren't, we can only go by audio of that game and pictures. And Wilt holding up the 100-point sign. There's no footage of that game, which people will say and is the greatest single game performance in NBA history, if not basketball history. I know we're gonna say, the college guys, the guys in college who scored 115 points, 180 points. No, Wilt Chamberlain, plain and simple, was the greatest single game performance of all time. 100 points. I think he had about 12 assists too, over 20 rebounds. Like, Wilt, that game where the Philadelphia Warriors was a man beast and was for most of his career. Wilt Chamberlain was the only man to average 50 points in a single season in 61-62. LeBron will never do that. Kobe will never do that. It's impossible for a player now to average 50 points in one season. Can't be done. Will never be done. We'll talk a little bit more about this after the break. Come back. This is Avry Sports with Webcast on livestream.com/Avry Sports.